You've seen the headlines, you've seen the advertisements, from waist trainers to fad diets. How much of this is really even good for us? Health is good, right? But what about all these extras on it? What is the real deal? This is real life. Let's talk about it.
Hey ladies, welcome to Shatter with Dr. J. I am your host, Dr. J. This week we are so excited to talk to you about your health and wellness. And so our episode is called Get Well Soon. I have to tell you that it has been a real journey for me to even walk through my own health and fitness journey. I had to change the wording to health and wellness though, because it really had to become less superficial and more about longevity of life. And so I cannot wait to delve into this topic, and I hope you guys learn a lot and are ready to destroy the limits. I have to say, I am also overjoyed for our special guest today. We have with us Ashley Joi, and she represents ENJOILIFE. And so I'm not going to tell you about her because she can tell you about herself more than I can. And so tell us a little about yourself and your company.
All right. So I am Ashley Joi. It is not like a made-up name. My middle name is Ashley Joi. So I've always wanted to be known as Ashley Joi, like a Marianne, Mary Sue type thing. And so as I got into fitness after college, I was like, okay, this is my time to be known as Ashley Joi. And so as the time has gone on, about 6 years I've been in the industry, the thing that came up about ENJOILIFE is from talking to other people, my own ups and downs in life, everyone just wants to enjoy life. Right? Like no matter what, the outcome.
Can relate to that, yeah.
So the outcome is that. And so I basically made a brand around the fact that I wanted to enjoy life, get back to what brought me happiness, and I also wanted to express and share that with other people, men, women, it doesn't matter. Okay. Obviously, as being a woman of color and things like that, maybe I'm more relatable to certain people, but ENJOILIFE is around everyone. There is not one person or one life that is ENJOILIFE. Like my ENJOILIFE is, I love running marathons, I love to push myself to the limit, weightlifting, anything like that, right? But your ENJOILIFE may be, I like to do road trips, I like to read books, I like to just go to church on Sundays and just relax, but you are enjoying life. And that's what I like for people to understand, that it's not what I do, it's what brings you joy, and then we can all enjoy life.
Got it.
Yes.
I love that. That is amazing, because I think that we see pictures, especially with social media, yes, and you find yourself wanting to enjoy somebody else's life based on the way that they're living it. And so I love that, your own version of enjoying life.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that you mentioned, you said you enjoy life by running marathons.
Yes. Currently training for one now.
Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Now, for some people in this health and wellness, health and fitness journey, it's not that exciting to think about running a marathon or being active or putting yourself out there. So talk to us a little bit about the woman or the individual who's just nervous about starting. Like, this idea of starting is so intimidating and so overwhelming that you become stuck and you just don't start.
Yes. I even personally have some things in my life that I still need to start, you know? So no one is perfect and no person is crushing everything in the world, right? Like, you do have hardships and hard times, but the beauty of starting something is knowing that you're not going to be in the same place. And that's what I like to tell people. It's like, you already know where you're going to be if you don't even start, and you're going to be here. And are you happy? No. So then what are you going to lose by starting and moving forward? You're only going to gain. And so that's the part about enjoying life. And then you don't know what you're actually going to enjoy unless you give it a try. So I'm always just like, there's no limitations. It's like when someone says, even myself with the marathon, I swore up and down I would never run a marathon. I ran track. I was a sprinter in college. And I was like, this is pointless. I don't understand. But when it was presented to me, I said, you know what? Like, why not? And I had already been doing half marathons leading up to that, because I had a friend who had a stroke. I lost a cousin and I lost a friend all within 3 months. And so I realized, like, life isn't promised, right? These things that I thought that I was going to do maybe in my 40s or even 30s at the time, I wasn't even 30. I was 26. And my friend didn't make it to 30. So I'm sitting here like, oh, I want to do this at this point in time. And it's not promised. And so I stepped out, and I had never ran more than 5 miles. And I ran 13.1 miles. And then like a month later, I was asked by Nike to do this event where we ran from the Coliseum to the Pasadena Rose Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. Like
my city.
Exactly. Oh, nice. Right on. There you go.
Right on.
Right?
Love it.
So anyway, so I've personally had some points in my life where I thought that I personally couldn't do it, right? And then once I did, you really realize like there are no limitations. Yeah. If you just try, whether I ran a good time or not, the beauty about long distance running, if you ever are able to kind of go out and to see anyone run or support someone, is so many different type of people, old, young, men, women, different creeds of life. And the beauty and what pushes everyone to the finish line is that we all have the same goal, is to finish. And so when you're running, like all the time when I see someone walking, I just pat them on the back and I say, you got this. And I keep going because the people behind me may see that, right? So then they're going to do it to the next person. Yeah. And it just keeps going. And that's my way of making someone feel the joy that I feel about running, because it's not easy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, I think I kind of answered your question.
Yeah, no, absolutely you did. So
okay.
We're just interested in how to start. So there you have it.
Let's just
That's
start.
your pat on the back right there.
Yes.
Your pat on the back is, if you're not happy where you are, well, why not start? All you could do is maintain where you are. We know that's not going to happen.
Yes.
You're going to see progress. So be motivated. Everybody's scared. Everybody's nervous. Will this work? Will it not? But you got to jump out there.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit, and just to share about a little bit more about my journey, because I talked about it being up and down.
Okay.
I have probably had about 4 significant times in my life where I felt like, okay, I need to make a change, and I've jumped into it. My problem is, why did I have a second start? Why did I have a third start? Why did I have a fourth start? And so I know our audience wants to know, like, how do you stay motivated? How do you maintain that motivation throughout this process?
So a big thing about staying motivated is beyond you. You really need a great support system. And I have a journal, a 30-day guided journaling program. Okay. And the one thing of the step that you do in the beginning is you find out who your joy tribe is. And you find out who, you find out who is someone, and I give an example. It's like, who is someone that you go to when you're happy, when you're sad, when you have a question, when you want to express fear, anything, right? There's different people in your life that you seek during that time. And so for me, it's important that I have a support system. I have a support system that goes from people who are 60 to people who are 22, like younger than me. There's no real age limit. It's like, who can you reach out to during any time? And that's your core. Also understanding that core and that joy tribe may change. So understand that change is going to happen. Like, you may add more people, you may subtract more people, but this is life. So through the 30 days, you're going to be more present. You're going to figure out your goals. You're going to do all this other stuff. So you may change as a person, right? So the circle may change, just like the same friends. You may not have the same friends that you had in high school that you will in college. And then after college, it all changes. And so a big part of why I believe it's hard for people to start things is the fear of change. Yeah. So I try to explain to people, even your joy tribe will change, but you need the support system. And so for me, I have an amazing support system. I also worked really hard to make sure that people in my life are not toxic, right? Not drama-filled people. And the reason, what I mean by being drama-filled, because life happens, right? Divorce, breakups, losing a job, everything, sadness, depression. That's not people who are toxic. Yeah. It's a people who make the decision to live a lifestyle that doesn't reflect happiness, joy, and progression. So I don't have people around me that are not moving to the next level. And I mean, like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, now I'm a CEO or now I'm this. I'm talking about like, hey, I want to leave my restaurant job and start my own business. Okay, what are you doing to get from there to here? And that is really important, to have people around you that reflect exactly what you want in life, and understanding like adding extra drama only pulls you down.
Yeah.
So support system is number one. And then I also believe in knowing yourself, understanding what it is that you truly, truly want, and not being afraid of being yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's very empowering when someone could truly be themselves. I'm unapologetically myself. Like, I know who I am, I know what I like, and I just want everyone else to feel that too. So when I am powerfully being myself, it's not to downgrade you. Yeah. It's really to uplift you, to show you like, wow, she's walking comfortably in her. She is who she is, and I want the same for you.
Sorry, no, want the same for me.
Yes,
I didn't want to interrupt you.
No,
but I want to know a little bit about this Joy Tribe.
Yes.
So when it comes to health and fitness or health and wellness, is your Joy Tribe like on the journey like with you, or do you have like people at different parts of that journey that still qualify to be in your Joy Tribe? Like,
yeah, there's no like, not everyone who's my support system can do what I can do, and it's not really about that, right? Because like, if you limit yourself to people who are what they can only give you, I mean, those aren't real friends, right? That's not like real support. So I do have some friends that enjoy distance running. So we run together. I have friends that don't mind going to a spin class with me, but I also have people who are willing to strip the nonsense and be raw, right? I come to them, this is my goal, this is what I want to do. And they feed or fuel me back. Like, sometimes I just need to be refueled with laughter, with just being able to be in a space where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And they uplift me. So everyone, I have friends who are mothers, who are single, who are about to get married, who are divorced, who are getting their doctorates, who are thinking about being in politics, all over the place. And it's really important to have people and immerse with different people, because again, I could get into a rut. No matter how successful I think I am, if I'm just around the same type of people, I'm just basically going in a circle.
Got it.
It could be a cool circle where I'm like, oh, I'm hanging out with this, but like, it's just in a circle. You got to have people who are doing different things, because it also allows you to understand what real life is going on.
Got it.
Right? Like,
so in your Joy Tribe, people are allowed to have their own personal goals. Just as I've seen where...
Oh, yes. No. This is not like the Facebook group where everyone is doing the same goal. No, these are like true people, like I said, that you could go to. If you were to lose your job, who's the person that you would call first, right? And then if you were to get someone's number or go on to a date, who would you call? Like, those little things, right? And the same people that I would call maybe after a race wouldn't be the same person that I would call if I got fired. But they're not less than anyone else in my Joy Tribe. You need the complete full circle of support, because fitness is not just lifting a weight or going on a run. It's very much mental and it's spiritual, and you need that support system, period.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that we take for granted. And it's like, oh, I need a gym partner. I need a gym buddy. I need a running partner, and so we're focused on somebody who has the same membership as us. Like, oh, you go to LA, or, you go to the different ones.
Yes.
And that person mentally and like spiritually and all those other aspects is not there to like support you. So that's kind of all you all have, is that you pay for the same, membership. And so I love that. I love that about the Joy Tribe. So something else I wanted to ask you. We're all about destroying the limits here on Shatter with Dr. J.
Yes.
And so I want to ask you, you look like you're crushing it.
Okay.
I'm just telling you. Like, from the outside looking in, you look like you're killing it.
Thanks.
And I want to know, how do you deal with the limitations that other people try to put on you?
I think the limitations that people put on me is basically this box, right? Like a box that a lot of people can be in, whether you're a woman or you're a man. And for me, it's like, I even go through it sometimes on my Instagram, where before I used to lift a lot of weights and I really love lifting weights, right? And then when I started getting into distance running, people said things like, oh, you're smaller now, you're this, and da-da-da. And I was like, why are you putting me into this box that I need to look like something? And I used to say, like, the person who just lifted couldn't do what this person is doing. That person couldn't run a marathon. And the person who's running the marathon can't technically lift as heavy as that other person. But the reality is, I am still living and enjoying life. Like, it changes, right? So, like, even on social media, they try to put me in a box that I need to be just one thing. And I think now, as time has gone on, they realize, like, okay, I've set up like a schedule for myself. The beginning of the year, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing all this, I'm, kind of exploring, and then I run a marathon in the fall. So I start training for a marathon in the summer. Yes. And it allows balance for myself. It also allows me to accomplish a goal. So a lot of times when people try to put me in a box or set limitations, I just really say what limitations and what box. And also, it's very much a reflection of them. Most people who want to put someone else in a box is uncomfortable because they see someone else breaking those barriers. Yes. So that's why I really encourage people. That's the whole enjoy life. It's not one way to enjoy life, and don't have anyone like tell you. Like, I can just lead by example by living in my truth. Yeah. And I just really encourage people to do the same.
Got it.
Yes.
So there's these movements, Black girls work out too,
yes,
or, different women work out too, and things like that. How has that kind of like impacted your approach, or maybe it hasn't at all?
Well, I've been an athlete all my life. Okay. So the Black girls work out too is like, duh. I did t-ball, I did gymnastics, I did soccer, I did track, I did tennis. Like, I've always been working out, and I've always been a Black girl. Got it. So for me, it's very normal, and I had Black teammates. So I personally didn't understand that. But that, again, is because I was an athlete, right? So I wasn't the girl who maybe wasn't encouraged to go run or do sports, but my mom was and is still my biggest support system. Okay. She used to tell me when I was a little girl, you can do anything that you set your mind to. You can be anything. You want to be, Michelle Obama already took my spot. Like, I wanted to be the first lady, the first Black woman first lady, but she, it's okay.
Yeah, so, and she killed it.
Exactly. Kudos. She did it good. So there was things like that. Like, as a little girl, I literally had that in my mind. I was like, well, maybe I can be the first lady. Yeah. I didn't think about being a president because I guess at the time we were still suppressed and put down here. But so the limitations and the how I was able to become like who I am. My mom was a big part. She never set any limitations. There was I don't really think I ever really heard no,
So she's like the captain of your Joy tribe.
Yes. And so I think that part is really important. And I understand that maybe people didn't have that growing up. And so I can only reflect and be who I am. Yeah. I cannot be the girl who wasn't told not to work out, or that I couldn't go in the pool because of my hair, or that I had to wear my hair a certain way. That's not my story. Even my story of going natural, there was no empowerment. It was just, I wanted to grow my hair out. I cut my hair when I went to college. I had to get a perm because I went to University of Rhode Island, and I didn't realize that my hair was this curly because I always had braids, and I always had different hairstyles, right? So the only time I saw this natural hair was in between going to the salon. Okay. Like taking out my braids, washing my hair, things like that. Yeah. So this was just me. This was I just want this, and then I realized, because it was so short, that it actually had this curl, and I just kept going and going. And then, this Ashley Joi and this fitness. And then now it is like a staple. I can't even change. Thank you. I've been wanting to do dreads so bad, but I'm afraid to go back to if I have to cut it off.
Yeah. So for me with the hair thing, I was totally weaves, braids, bundles, the whole bit. And I like to change so much.
Yes.
And people are like, you like to change your hair so much. You should not do dreads. It's a bad idea. And it almost pushed me more. I'm like,
try it.
Yeah. I tried it 2 years ago. I absolutely love it. Yeah. But same thing. I didn't necessarily feel empowered because I was natural underneath all that stuff. But I just was tired of getting my hair done. I was tired of the expense and things like that. So I love that you shared that with me.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's like I can just represent who I am and encourage people just to feel more comfortable with them, or maybe, again, start something and enjoy something else, or just embrace. Like, I embrace my curls and I do what I do, but just because I don't have the same story doesn't mean like you can't relate to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I do feel that overall, women, girls, sports is so important. I believe it has a big role in why I am the way that I am, when I realized I was a leader, when I realized I could trust myself, when I realized I can make a decision that will impact and empower everyone else, that really taught me about myself. And so I use sports in everything that I do. Like, I mean, even when I'm driving, I'm just like, all right, this person is here. I think about like a track, like you have to like stagger, you can't turn. I mean, just like sports is just like everything, but it teaches self-awareness, body awareness, right? Like, and not even like on a level of, do you have fat or that? It's knowing like, if I move this way or that way, this is what my body is doing. And body awareness is very, very important. And so sports taught me that. Running taught me to be an individual, but also be a team player, right? Because when I step on the line, you're even going against your own teammates, right? But you can encourage and push them. I had a teammate who's my best friend, and we ran the same events. We would be like one lane away from each other, 2 lanes away from each other. And she's from Connecticut, and we're totally different body types, right? Like, she was built like Serena. Like, she had the calves, the booty, the breast, the everything, right? And I'm like very petite. And I was just like, all right, like, and we're best friends. And when we would run, we actually never had this negative energy. We actually really felt like we were pushing one another each time. And if she were to win, it was like she ran a better race than me. Or if I were to win, it was that we just really pushed and encouraged each other. So the sisterhood also comes with sports. And so I think it's really important to get girls into sports, period. Or girls into activities. And encouraging young women to reflect on what they actually like to do.
Got it. That was built early on for you.
Very, very early. There was no like, girls don't do that, or you can't do that.
All right, moms, are you listening? Moms, you got to listen to this. This is really
it really taught me. And a teammate is very similar. Like, I'm not in a sorority, but it's a very much the same concept, right? Because you have a whole season with someone, you see someone grow, you talk about this. Practices are not easy, especially track. Like, you see people get injured or break that barrier, and they broke that record, they did this. It's the same concept within a sorority. It's a sisterhood. And it's very, very, very important. And I believe with fitness, it's the same concept because you can set goals. So the thing about being a young athlete and a young woman growing up is there's goals every year, right? Win the championship, or run faster, or kick harder, or to even just to make varsity over junior varsity or whatever. So it allows young women to accomplish something.
Got it.
And so for me, that's why I still run, because I can accomplish goals. Every day I wake up and I go and I run. If I say I want to just run 4 miles, that's still an accomplishment before I head out for work, before I answer an email, before I see a client. I've accomplished a goal, which allows me to feel good about myself, right? And then you go into the world and you give that back to everyone else.
I just love that you're like so focused.
Yes.
And I think sometimes we're like all over the place. We're pulled like this direction, that direction.
Yes.
We're women, we're moms, we're this, we're that, we're employees, we're sisters, we're daughters. And so I think to be able to have that focus, you owe it to yourself.
Yes, you do.
Like, you owe it to yourself. Because I love that you said you do it before you go out into the world.
Yes.
So before you do what other people are asking you to do, before you respond to them, like, you're doing something for yourself that makes you feel good. That's a personal goal, not imposed by somebody from the outside. All right, ladies. So you've heard what we wanted to talk about, but we want to hear from you. And so we have a special guest from our audience. We have Chelsea here today. Hey, Chelsea. Y'all say, hey, girl, hey. And so we want to hear from you. I know that you have been on a health and wellness journey, and I want to know, how can we help you win, girl, win?
Okay. So my question is, well, first of all, last year I lost 50 pounds. Keto diet. Okay. And although I wasn't where I wanted to be, I kind of wanted to change, like, out of the keto diet to like a more a normal way of eating. Yes, exactly. Because I was eating a lot of meat, I was eating a lot of unhealthy things. So, but right when I transitioned out, I gained the 50 back plus 20 more. Okay. So my question is the keto diet safe? Mm-hmm. Does it work long term? Like, should I have stayed on it? And also, how do you transition out of it, or do you have a better option?
I mean, boom, boom, bases loaded on that question.
So I want to first applaud you for losing the weight, and do not even feel negative about gaining any weight back, right? It's more about understanding, like, why did you first need to lose, like, the weight? Like, what were you doing prior the keto diet? And that's something to, like, I am definitely health, fitness, nutrition, but I'm really more about, like, the inner you and understanding, like, the why. So it's like, why were you overweight? Was it more health? Like, did you have health issues, or was it just like, I was just eating whatever I wanted?
Yeah, I like to eat.
Okay, so you were just eating whatever you wanted, right? So this was probably the first time that you ever were restricted or giving what to eat, right? So that your body, like, really reacted that. Yeah. Were you working out while you were doing this, or this is just eating?
That's the crazy part. I've always worked out. I was a cheerleader growing up. Okay. I've always just been, like, the fat girl that worked out.
Okay. Yeah. So then you understand, like, there's different body types, Serena and Venus, right? They're genetically the same, both mom and dad, and one is slim and one has a lot more muscle mass. And so with you have to understand, like, this may be the way that you are built, right? That you're going to be more on, like, not even a heavier side, but you don't have the muscle mass. Like, just even us three, you can see that we're completely different body types, right? And so for you, I think that the keto diet obviously did a positive for you. How did you feel when it was going on? Like, were you happy? Did you feel, like, restricted? And what was the reason of getting off?
I did feel happy. I was using it, and I felt motivated. I felt like I had, like, a clearer head. Like, I was getting off because I heard a lot of bad things about it. Like, you eat a lot of meat, it's high, like, good fat, stuff like that. So I just felt like maybe I should eat more clean, more vegetables. Vegetables do have carbs, so it's kind of hard to incorporate a lot of vegetables in that type of diet.
And so basically, no matter what, even if the keto diet is good or bad, it was something that you ultimately weren't going to, like, stick with, right? Okay. So, like, it's kind of like you can just leave keto out the picture, because that's something that you're not going to go back to. It sounds like you don't even really want to eat a lot of meat like that, and you don't want to eat that way. And so, like, moving forward is kind of understanding, what did you go back to eating? Like, why did you, like, gain the weight? And so maybe something for you to even look into is just back to the basics, right? Vegetables every meal. Like, one of my favorite things is, like, to put asparagus and broccoli with my omelet. Vegetables, like, every single meal, lots and lots of water. And then you being active, like, what activities are you doing now? Like, I know you said that cheerleading and you were active before, but now what's your regimen?
Yeah, absolutely nothing right now.
Absolutely nothing. Okay. So,
which is fine.
I love that, though. It's honest. Yeah, right. Because sometimes it's like, we'll have these goals and we have a place that we want to see ourselves, but if we really look at our current activities, we're doing, like, a lot of things that don't line up with where we want to be. Like, I was joking the other day because I had lost 11 pounds and I gained 13 back. Amen. And I was so devastated. I was like, I might as well just go on to 200 and then do a big loss. But like, you literally get to that point where you should be doing something else, and it kind of sometimes takes us encouraging each other, or a joy tribe, or a conversation like this, to make you kind of come to this realization that every little step is going to put you further and help you progress. I absolutely love quotes. And one of my favorite quotes is that it's not a big step that counts. It's all the little steps. So there it is. Keto out the window, failure out the window. We are starting a new thing, and it has to be around what you enjoy.
Yes.
Foods that you enjoy that aren't going to kill you. Activities that you enjoy, they're going to get that heart rate up, and you can do it. You can win, and we're going to all win together.
Yes.
And all of our different body types.
Exactly.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for being transparent and sharing with our audience. Trust me, there are tons of other people who have the same question. Maybe it wasn't keto, but we've all tried something, and we did really well, and then we had a fallback. And so I love that you were willing to come on and share and allow another woman to see herself in the same seat that you're in. And thank you so much for all of your great advice. This was so much fun. Thank you, ladies.
There you have it, ladies. It is time for you to get well and do it soon. I want to invite you to check out all of our episodes of Shatter with Dr. J. I just want to thank our special guest, Ashley Joi, so much. Go follow her at Ashley Joi, and that's Joy with an I. She is destroying limits every day. And do you see how she's going to approach those limits? What limits? Come on now. So I want you to jump in there with her journal. There's a download that goes with it. An amazing journey. Remember, this starts in the mind. It's not just one big step. And we even heard that from our special guest, Chelsea, as well. We want to make a series of small steps, and ultimately, we want to win with you together. Get out there, ladies, and destroy the limits.